So there's really two options when it comes to getting a haircut. Option number one, you actually go to a barber shop, salon, or hair cuttery, whatever have you. Or option two, you grab your cojones and you do it yourself. And, I'll run you through the two options before we actually get into this. So option one, you go to the hair cuttery, right? So you walk in, you drive down. You get in your car, you waste your gas, you drive down. Walk into the barber shop, hair cuttery, salon, what have you. And, you just sit there for a second waiting for your barber to be ready. Sometimes he's in the back jerking off or like eating a fucking lunch or something. Other times he's ready for you. He's got the chair ready for you and all that. You get in the chair, you sit down, you show him what haircut you want. For example, you go in with a picture of Brad Pitt from Fight Club and you're like, give me this warrior cut that Brad Pitt had in Fight Club. Make me look like this motherfucker. Or you show him a picture of like Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner and you're like, you put this shit on my head. Give me this Ryan Gosling haircut and make me look like the motherfucker so I'm all handsome and the birds come a chirping, you know what I'm saying? But it never goes how you want. You always tell them like, do me up, make me look like Brad Pitt, and you never walk out of that bitch looking like Brad Pitt. Like for me, I'm gonna get real vulnerable with you guys, okay? How can I say this? See, I used to be secretive about this, but then I grew up and I was like, fuck it. So I've been telling motherfuckers about this, but the back of my head is insanely flat. Like I got one of the flattest back of heads of all time. And legend has it, my parents didn't give me enough tummy time. They just left me on my back for the first 5 years of my life. So in essence, my whole back of my body just goes like this until you get to my ass, obviously, because the parabola of my ass is insane. I got a fucking horse's ass on me. I'm really pushing a wagon. But like I said, say my hand is my head and my jacked forearm is my back. This is what it looks like. And then if you get to the top of my head, it's a 90-degree angle. Basically like this. That's how my body's shaped. I have no curvature at the back of my head. So it's brutal. That's the only reason I can't get a buzz cut. See, I have to have hair on the back of my head to support the flatness that's on there. So I give the illusion that I have some sort of roundness on the back of my head. Because otherwise, it's just, like I said, a 90-degree angle. If I did have a normal shaped head, if my parents did give me the tummy time, I would rock a buzz cut 24/7 because you wake up fresh out of bed. You don't got to do jack shit. You just walk out of the house and you're all buzzed up and handsome and all that bullshit. You don't got to do shit to your hair. But sadly, since I got that flat slope on the back of my head, I don't really have much of a choice now, do I? So let me keep going. You sit down in the chair, you show a picture of Brad Pitt. You're like, let me look like this guy. The barber, starts chopping your shit. Already, as soon as he starts, you already know he's going to fuck it up. It's not going to be how you want it. At least in my case, it was every time I got a haircut, it was never how I wanted. So you're sitting in the chair, he's chopping you up, he's trying to make conversation. Me, when I'm in the barbershop, I'm not really about conversation. I just like to be silent and just stare into my eyes for 30 to 40 minutes as I have this servant chop my shit up. And, he'll talk to you. He'll do like sports talk, the barber. Like he'll give me some fuck ass NFL stats. And I'll be like, he'll be like, oh, bro, the Dolphins are going to the Super Bowl this year. Tua Tagovailoa is the best quarterback in the league. And I just got to sit there and take it because I'm not going to disagree with my barber's sports takes because then he'll just fuck my shit up. When I'm sitting in that chair, the barber has full responsibility and full accountability of what happens to my head. He could fuck me up for the next 3 months. Because if they mess up and I got to go buzz, dude, I ain't getting no play. Because like I said, the back of my head is completely flexed at this point. And once I can get plastic surgery and I can get something back there to give it a little bit of roundness that goes into my neck, boom, I'll get a buzz cut. But right now, it just looks like a piece of fucking 7x10 paper. So the barber, you sit in his chair, he cuts you, fucks your shit up, you pay him, you tip him money, and then you leave. So you're basically paying this guy to mess up your whole life because the barber never gets the haircut right, let's be honest. Unless you have the same barber for like years and years, then you work up a rapport with them. But if you're just going to a barbershop and getting a random Joe Schmo, a random slapdick off the road, cutting your hair, it can get really brutal. So you pay them, you tip them and everything. And you got to pay haircuts nowadays. I don't know if you go to like a black barber, I don't know what they're charging over there, but where white people get their haircut, like just regular barbershops where the people have like tattoos, they drive Subarus, they smoke vapes and all that bullshit. Those are like the barbers I'm used to. Dude, it's $40 for a haircut, $15 to get your beard cut on top of it. Luckily for me, I have the face of a prepubescent fucking 13-year-old, so I don't have to worry about getting my beard trimmed. But $40 for a haircut plus a tip on top of that. Money's falling out of my ass. Money's not a problem for me, but still, they're like, corporate America's really jerking off the little guy right here, the little guy being me. So you get a haircut you don't want, you walk out of there, you pay the guy, you're $40 in the hole, and that's that. Or you could do option two, which is what I do. You grab your cojones, you buy a razor with a bunch of different guards, a bunch of different size guards, for fine tuning and one for just, you know, chopping it up to get a trim. And you do it yourself. See, what I did with my haircuts, I've been doing my own haircuts for the past 2 years. I've probably given myself maybe 10 to 15 haircuts in that time. I give myself some time in between haircuts because I like to let it grow out. And I've only messed it up one time. And the thing is about me is I got some really thick Italiano hair, so I can make a few mistakes as I'm cutting my hair, and I could fix the problems because I got such thick wop hair that I don't have to worry about if I cut a little too short sometimes. I could just make up for it. But you guys like should really be looking into cutting your own hair. Getting a razor, it'll put you $60 to $80 in a hole, but then you'll never ever have to go to a barber shop, have to listen to this bullshit conversation with your barber, have to drive down there, pay the guy, tip him, walk out disappointed. You always, when you're cutting your own hair, you always get exactly what you want. And if you do mess up, you just got to charge it to the game. You can't really give a fuck. See, at first when I was cutting my hair, I was really worried about messing up. But as you keep doing it, you keep going, different haircuts, experimenting, shit like that, learning new techniques as you go, you don't mess up as much, number one. And if you do mess up, who the fuck cares? If you mess up your hair and you look like a complete fucking maniac, if you look like Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver, so be it, bro. You go out in the public and you rock that shit. And if someone asks you what the fuck's up with your hair, be like, I took the accountability into my own hands. I chopped my own shit up. I fucked up, but I'm rocking it because I'm that motherfucker. That's really all it comes down to. If you fuck up your haircut, that's the only thing you got to say. If someone's like, dude, what happened to your hair? I chopped that shit up myself. What are you going to do about it? That's all you got to say. So don't be worried about making mistakes. Get a $60 to $80 razor. Me, personally, I just started doing that shit myself. As I was going to the barber, I was watching him fuck my shit up, but I was watching the techniques he was using. And as long as you have the proper guards and you're very careful, you can get a solid haircut in. I've been fading my sides, giving myself a taper, giving a fade on the back, and that shit looks crispy. And I tell the people at work, like, they're like, oh, did you get a haircut? And I'm like, yeah. And they ask me where I got it, and I'm like, yeah, I did it myself. And sometimes they don't believe me. But I have a buddy that has like tracked my hair cutting progress because he also cuts his own hair. And he was telling me my fades have been getting more and more crisp by the haircut. So that just goes to show. I mean, a motherfucker like me, I got shaky hands. Like, I can never be a surgeon. This is my hands on the daily. I could never be a surgeon. So that just goes to show, like, you could have shaky hands. You could be, I'm not calling myself a barber or anything, but I'm just saying it's honestly, it's another fucking freedom that you get when you can cut your own hair. Because you go home, you don't gotta go anywhere. You cut your shit and then you take a shower. And then that night you're like, oh shit, I gave myself a haircut today. You look in the mirror and you're like, I look fucking beautiful right now. And I did this shit myself. So it's just like, it's a good thing to do. You don't have to pay anybody. It's an independent thing, you know. And if the apocalypse ever happens, you can chop your own shit out. You don't have to cut it or go to a barber in the apocalypse or risk getting fucking pillaged and RAPED by the barber that you choose if the zombie apocalypse happens and you need a haircut. And I've had all sorts of hairstyles. I've had long hair. Like, I had a middle part that went long. I had the lettuce hanging out the back. I mean, my hair was extremely long. And I was still able to chop it up, trim it and all that. And then I have short-ish hair now. I keep it a little bit long on the top, keep it wavy on the top to, you know, show the broads that I still got that crispy-ass hairline. But I fade the shit on the sides. I don't have long hair anymore. You just go with the flow. And you can look up. There's hundreds of thousands of tutorials by jackasses on YouTube that you could look up. I'm not going to post a tutorial because everyone's got different hair and shit. And you just got to figure it out yourself, to be honest. Don't be worried about making mistakes, bro. You're probably handsome as it is. You're probably a handsome motherfucker as it is. So if you fuck up your hair, just buzz that shit off, bro. And that's all you got to do. Not everyone's suffering. I can't do the buzz thing. So if I fuck my shit up, I just got to rock it. But if you got a nice ass head shape and you fuck up your haircut, just buzz that shit off, bro. Then you wake up like a fucking doctor. You don't got to do shit. You wake up, put your surgical gloves on, you go out your door and start your fucking day. It's really that simple. You don't got to do shit. So it's a win-win. You don't got to pay anybody. If you mess up, you just buzz that shit off and go out into civilization like the badass that you are. And if you do a good job, then you get the exact haircut that you want because you did it yourself. It's really a win-win-win, if you ask me. So you guys should start cutting your own hair. Doesn't matter what hair you have. Doesn't matter if you make a mistake. Just go for it. You don't got to pay anybody. You do that shit yourself. You're independent. And then if you are fucking good at it, you could start your own hair cuttery business. Start promoting your shit on Instagram. You know, if you're a good barber, I'll promote you on this channel. This channel gets a ton of traction and views. So if anyone needs promotion, I got you if you're a barber. Yeah, that's really the whole video. Just waffling. Cut your own hair, guys. That's all I really got to tell you.